All right, so a couple interesting trades that went up yesterday. Obviously, a very busy day yesterday, very volatile. SPOO sold off pretty hard yesterday, and what I wanted to look at and what I thought was particularly interesting was a lot of European ETFs traded in large blocks right around, I'd say, about an hour before the European close. So a couple of orders that I saw hitting the tape or some of the major ETFs in Europe are EZU, VGK, IEV, EUFN. These all and FEZ, FEZ. These all traded blocks, all within about an hour, and I've seen this a couple times where maybe not all at once, but I have seen a lot of profit taking. Whenever Europe has been up and a great deal, I have seen some profit taking and investors come in and sell into that strength. So this was a little bit different because we saw 4 or 5 different prints that went up. So the first one I wanted to look at is EZU. This one is a complete European ETF. You can see that the prints I pulled up from yesterday, anything over 250,000, you can see 1.5 million shares traded. And this was right at 11:32. I circled this over here. You can see that this traded a little bit outside of the confine of the bid-ask spread and brought it down. And you'll see a similar pattern with FEZ, that tracks the Euro stocks. A print right around that 1 million shares also traded, and you can see it was on the right outside of the bid-ask spread. Another one to look at, which I find particularly interesting, just because we do have the ECB meeting next week, is EUFN. EUFN is the European financials, pretty much the only ETF out there that covers that segment of the market. So what you can see as well is right around 11:30, you see a trade going up. Let's see if I have that here. I'm sorry, that's KBE. Let's bring it up over here. And so from yesterday, and I want to look for any prints that happened. 250. So here we go. Right around 11:30, you can see the trade was canceled, but it was later put up. Looks like it was a little bit small difference in quantity. Perhaps it was a notional trade, but you can see about 850,000 shares. That's a big trade for this ETF. This ETF doesn't trade more than a couple 100,000 shares in a day. So the same activity, same pattern in FEZ, EUFN, IEV. We actually did see, which I believe was on optional alert, there was a spread that went up in IEV. So a lot of activity, and I would attribute this to a little bit of positioning ahead of ECB, and I think EUFN is a great way to play the ECB announcement that's for next week. I think it's priced into the market that there's going to be some type of stimulus, and I think on the larger side. So if they fail to deliver, I think these names are going to sell off pretty hard. What's in EUFN? It's a lot of the names that you have been looking at. There's Deutsche Bank, Credit Suisse, HSBC. These names have been under pressure lately, especially Credit Suisse. We haven't seen that name come back at all, but Deutsche Bank started to give in today while it was up yesterday. So I think this is really something to keep an eye on. Also, one of the things that I look at just to make sure as evidence of market making activity, the following day you can see what's a little bit different than in the option world is in the ETF world, if someone does a large transaction, they're going to either create more shares or they're going to redeem the shares. The redeem will be to the sell side. So what I've highlighted here is EZU, which is the ETF that we talked about moments ago, and you can see that there's $138 million coming out of the ETF. This is a redemption. This means that someone was selling the basket and they were redeeming the ETF back to the issuer. So this is definitely a bearish trade. So if we go into the chart, if we go take a step back and take a look at EUFN, which again is a name that I like, playing with puts ahead of next week's ECB meeting, you could see that it's definitely trading under the cloud in a bearish pattern. In my charts, what I do is not only do I have the Ichimoku cloud moving averages, but I also bring in the 5-day and the 20-day exponential moving average just to see if it's just a little bit more clarification. You can see that for a while now it's been trading under the 5-day moving average. This is a 3-month chart. If we look down at some technical studies, you can see that this was the volume yesterday, which was quite big. You can see that happen. Very, very seldom does it happen. So you can see I also look very closely at the MACD. This is very bearish. It's been in a bearish pattern now for since December. I like the Williams R very much too. You can see that it's been in the oversold area, but it's in this trend. We want to make sure that it's in this trend and staying there. So if it does creep up, that's our indication to get out of the trade. But and same thing, the same picture in the RSI. So going into next week's ECB, I think a great way to play what's going on and what will be super sensitive is the EUFN, the MSCI Europe Financials ETF.